Right, so what are we up to today on the old Zambo TV? We're currently in the Parkhouse area of Glasgow, Postle Park's down that way, and Milton's up that way.
Yep.
Now, anybody that follows the channel regularly, it's quite irreverent. It's about engineering, falafel shop reviews. I've did a couple of bits in geopolitics. I did one in cycle lanes. 2,000 people watched it. Did one on how to bring the government down, and 50 people watched it. So that says everything about my channel. But anyway, we've got a special guest on the show today, a prospective MP.
Yep.
For this ward, which you actually said was massive, Nick.
Yeah, it's Glasgow North, 60,800 homes.
What areas does it take in?
It goes all the way from Yorkhill and Anderson in the city centre.
Right, so Yorkhill and Anderson, I would say they were fairly affluent.
Yeah, Yorkhill has its own social housing and so on, but it's more affluent than Parkhouse, certainly.
But it takes in Parkhouse, Postle Park, and Milton.
Goes all the way up to the top.
Sorry, I want to just, Nick, say hi everybody in Zambo TV.
Yeah, right. So I'm Nick Durie. I'm the Glasgow North Alapa candidate, and I'm standing to try and make some change in this, as Zambo says, quite large area. We're taking in all the way down from the river to the very edge of the city confines and up to the edge of the Springburn Expressway. So Cowlairs, Postle Park, Sighthill, Wester Common, Woodside, so it's a huge area.
It's a massive. I spoke to Nick off camera. He's a Dundonian by birth. Well, not all that against him, but he's lived in the ward for 21 years. There's a couple of the prospective candidates that don't even live here. Is that right?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, aye. So Nick's lives in the area. He's brought up a family in the area. He eats, sleeps and breathes it. He's my pal. I've known the guy for 10 years. We were very active back in 2014. Unfortunately, my workload has stopped me being able to give him a hand this time round, but my heart's still with him. He showed me some cards that they're pushing for this local area. Now, you vote Tory, you vote Lib Dem, you vote Labour, you're voting for a high cost of living, you're voting for high energy prices, you're voting for relentless wars, and you're voting for a bloody genocide in Gaza. Look inside your hearts. Say to yourself, could I physically vote for these people? Me and Nick, back in the day, campaigned for the SNP.
And it's fair to say that they've lost their way. They've lost their way on independence. They've lost their way on working people. The Independence Project is about raising up working people. And you can't knowingly pass on all these Westminster cuts for 10 years and not move forward with independence without knowing that's going to harm working people. So we need change on that. We need to do things in the here and now, like build 200,000 homes, 100,000 of them public in the next 5 years. And we also need to get on with other things like tackling the damp and mould crisis, getting our energy wealth working for us.
That's a big one for me, Nick. We just faced an energy crisis. Scotland is oil and gas rich. Scotland exports renewable energy as far as, is it Blackpool in England? And we had an energy crisis. How can this happen?
Well, it's about the nature of ownership. I mean, we see all these wind turbines being erected, but they're almost jobless construction projects because the parts are built elsewhere, they're assembled here, and the electricity is channeled down to England. We're becoming a transmission station, and at the same time, we're seeing deindustrialisation.
We're seeing even more deindustrialisation. I mean, yeah. Scotland's been ripped to pieces. A lot of the recurring stuff in my channel is about Glasgow's engineering prowess, Glasgow's engineering history. The stats and data in that city are mind-blowing. Yeah. A lot of these turbines are built in China, which you can understand, sort of. It's the biggest. China is what Glasgow was 100 years ago. It's the manufacturing and exporting centre on the planet. A lot of these turbines are also built in Denmark. Denmark's a similar size to Scotland. It's got a similar population size to Scotland. Why are the people in Scotland buying turbines from Denmark when we had the engineering prowess that we had? Is in Alaba's manifesto to try to renationalise energy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What we want to do is ensure that we have a 15% stake. Actually, no, it's a 20% stake. I get that wrong. 20% stake in every field. We want to replicate the success of Norway. When Norway discovered oil, they got rich. They were poor before, they got rich. When we discovered oil, we got poorer.
The only country on earth to discover oil and not see the benefit from it.
And that's what Norway did with its company, state company, Statoil. Statoil were involved in every single field at the beginning, and that meant that the company itself gained all the information it would need to win the next round of bids. So it would have all the information to actually control the market. And we need to do the same here. We need to be wise about how we go about creating a publicly owned energy.
So we start at 20% with a goal further down the line to hopefully bring anything new that we're building into, maybe even try to get it manufactured here, Nick. That's
exactly it.
That's good.
That's
So
exactly it. We want to reindustrialise through green energy, and we have a plan for how to do that, just as we have a plan for how to achieve independence.
I would normally have. I did do a video called "How to Bring the Government Down." In the video, I says, "Look in your hearts. How could you possibly vote for any of these warmongering psychopaths? If you do, you're putting Scotland back in the ground to let it get kicked to death again. I can't influence how anybody votes. Nick's a local guy. He's brought a family up here. He eats, sleeps and breathes his constituency, his city and his country. We need more people like this. Unfortunately, my workload has stopped me being able to get out in the streets and chap doors, but I would have helped. If any of you can help, I'll stick some links in the description in the box next. How do we get hold of you?
Well, you can get me on my email, which is Nickdurie, Nickdure, .glasgownorth@gmail.com, and you can get me on Twitter at my Twitter handle is at Nick4, the number 4, Glass North.
Right, I'll get a hold of this, stick the stuff in the description down below. Nick, if you won this seat, you could potentially be a Westminster MP. We could thrust you into the den of Satan, right?
Well, it is a den of Satan, and I have worked there before as a lobbyist for an organisation that was raising up working people, and it's a horrible place. I certainly don't enjoy being there, and I would work tirelessly as a campaigner and a champion of this area. That's where I want to be.
Would you ask difficult questions?
Absolutely.
Would you rip their butts apart and get right into the middle of the quagmire that is British politics?
Well, my party operates a semi-abstentionist policy. We're not there to administer the British state. You know, the SNP won the huge tranche in 2015, and then a lot of them decided, they want to be on this committee and they want to help Britain do this, want to help Britain do that. No, we go there with a specific purpose of making a point. And that's the reason for being in that chamber, to make sure you get the television, to make sure you put it on record and use the parliamentary privilege to advance the cause.
Again, off camera, I spoke to Nick. What happens to politicians when they walk through the front door of Westminster? They all seem to get in there with the best intents. Within 2 or 3 years, an idea I threw forward was, London's a big smoke, it's an amazing European capital. Suddenly you're taking people from more frugal backgrounds, putting a lot of money in their pockets, giving them access to expense accounts. And I love London. I'm actually a bit of an Anglophile. All my life I've worked in the touring music industry. It's predominantly dominated by English businesses and stuff like that. I have no beef with the people of England. However, the way they vote affects the way we vote. I've been I wouldn't say I was a lifelong supporter of Scottish independence, but certainly since Alex Salmond took the helm of the SNP, I believe he's one of the greatest politicians Scotland's ever had. We desperately need him back, and we desperately need guys like Nick to represent the interests of people that live in areas like Postle Park, Milton and Parkhurst. So Nick, all I can say to you is good luck, my friend. I'm sorry I couldn't spend a wee bit more time with you. Let's wrap this one up. We'll stick this on YouTube. The other thing that I would say to anybody watching it, if you can help them, it doesn't matter whether it's slinging them a tenner, chapping doors, getting out there. We've left it to the last minute. Let's try our best to try to get something decent happening for this area. My workshop's just along the road. I see poverty every day, you know. how can the largest city in the most energy-rich country in Europe still have so much visible poverty, you know? So, Nick, wrap it up. The other thing I've seen on the Nick's boards that he's putting up is you want to see a privatised a nationalised energy company and an end to the war in Gaza.
Yes, we need to end the genocide that's going on in Gaza. It's horrendous, unspeakable things have happened. People who are normally very eloquent find it difficult to put into words what's been going on. But what we definitely need to commit to do, is to arrest Netanyahu and his gang and send them to The Hague.
Nick, Durie, shake a hand, make a friend. I wish you all the best, my friend. And let's put him to his word. If you become an elected MP for this area, will you jump back in my wee yellow van after you've got your seat in the big house down there and do another one of these uploads with us?
Of course.
You will?
Yeah, of course.
It was great to see you again, Nick. You take care,
Thanks,
right?
Amble.
Good luck to you.